Cutlass Boy looking to pivot into his shield advantage. Gengar, out comes Tapu Fini. The opponent then pivots out into Giratina, and Cutlass Boy full send in the Shadow Ball. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a very exciting day. Globally, the Team Rocket takeover is here, which means we have some new Shadow Pokemon released, and we can also remove frustration off our best Shadow Pokemon. That's pretty exciting news for me personally. I've been hoarding a lot of good Shadow Pokemon. I've got a 98 IV, Shadow Darmanitan that we're going to be trying out in the Master League Premier Cup. And I've also got a 14, 14, 15 Shadow Snorunt that I will be turning into a Frostlass for the Ultra League. However, whilst we're on that subject, it has been reported that apparently you can now get banned for grinding too hard on Rockets. I think that's absolutely absurd. Am I going to grind any different to how I always grind? No, I'm not. However, if I do get banned, I'll let you all know, and you can all save your account a lot better than I will be. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some battles from Cutlass Boy with this absolutely terrifying Triple Shadow non-XL team in the Open Ultra League. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we see the Shadow Dragonite mirror. Cutlass Boy flexing that shiny, and he's also flexing the catch. We catch the Dragon Claw onto our save switch of Ampharos. The opponent stays in. They actually get Volt Switch farmed all the way down, unable to reach a charge move. Ampharos leaves with a lot of residual energy, good to go. The opponent sends out that basic bitch tin can, and Cutlass Boy full sending the Focus Blast. Does the opponent respect the damage? There's the first big boom of today's video. Out comes Gator. Gator able to get the Shadow Claw farm down, and this is not fantastic for Gengar. Gengar insanely glassy, gonna be getting torn apart by the Shadow Claws. However, likewise, Gengar is so oppressive. Cutlass Boy might be looking for the double shield. Shadow Claw farm all the way down. Gator only taking 5 Shadow Claws, 2 each Hydro Cannon. The question will be, can they make the third move? Cutlass Boy, last second, opts not to go for the farm down, and he's going to start firing off Shadow Punches. The first Shadow Punch forces the Protect Shield. We then snipe with Dragonite. We've got charge moves here, there, and everywhere. Superpower forces the Protect Shield, even if the opponent's able to lock on farmers down, which they're not. We had a charge move banked on Gengar, and regardless, Cutlass Boy would be emerging victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, this time, we see that ever annoying Tin Can out in the lead. The opponent save switches into Goodra. Cutlass Boy happy to stay in, fire off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw forces us early shield advantage. Neither our back 2 Pokemon particularly fancy tanking Dragon Breath, and Dragonite has put this into a range where Ampharos will be able to fire off the Brutal Swing. We take our shield advantage, send out Ampharos. Ampharos looking for that kill shot, going straight for the Brutal Swing. The opponent already down 1 Protect Shield, unwilling to shield again. If that stupid Tin Can should return, I really want to see us go 2 for 2 on Focus Blast booms. The opponent able to outpace to their own Focus Blast, and Cutlass Boy is going to invest his first Protect Shield. Come on, Cutlass Boy, full send the nuke, and that's exactly what he does. Does this opponent respect the damage? Focus Blast goes unshielded. Get that Tin Can off my screen. Out comes Dragonite. Dragonite instantly greeted with the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We send out Gengar. Gengar reaches the Shadow Ball, and this is going to vanquish Dragonite back to its Pokeball, and we're off to a very quick 2-0 start. Absolute destruction. Let's get it. As hyped as I am, the next battle, we see a Nightmare lead. We save switch into Ampharos, which is completely walled by Tapu Koko when running this moveset. We'd have to run Trailblaze to be able to hit him for neutral. The opponent save switches into Greedent, and we're about to YOLO yet another Focus Blast. Focus Blast goes unshielded. There's another big boom. Ampharos absolutely stealing the spotlight. 3 for 3 on Focus Blast booms in the first 3 battles, and I am going to lose my shit. Flipping switch is going to be absolutely everything in this battle, as Cutlass Boy is now able to send out Gengar. Gengar farms up, fires the Shadow Punch on the charge attack priority. Tapu Koko, you might think your attack stat's big, but Gengar's is even bigger. Cutlass Boy happy to match Protect Shield. The opponent fires off the Nature's Madness, debuffing our defense, but then send out Tentacruel. Tentacruel offering very little fast move pressure into Gengar. Cutlass Boy full sends the Shadow Ball, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. He then attempts to catch a Scald onto Dragonite unsuccessfully. We see the No Shield deployed. The opponent fires off the Acid Spray, lowering our defense by 2 stages. Again, we see the No Shield deployed. If this is a Scald, which it is, it's going to knock out. Back out comes Gengar. Both Ghost and Poison do resist Poison. so we aren't taking much damage whatsoever. We overfarm as much as we physically can, fire off the Shadow Punch. We're able to survive the Volt Switch. Gengar able to land back-to-back Shadow Punches and take that game. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Tapu Koko's cousin, or brother from another mother, Tapu Fini. A much better matchup for Ampharos. Again, the opponent say switches into Greedent. There is no shot. There is no shot. Focus Blast! Boo! Go shielded. I think if we landed the 4th Focus Blast in a row, I think I'd end the video there, and that'd be it for the day, as I don't think I'd be able to commentate anymore. Oh man, pull yourself together. We've got ourselves shield advantage, of course. We're going to send back out Dragonite, as Gengar has a dreadful matchup on a full Ghost moveset into a normal type, as normal does double resist Ghost. As oppressive as Shadow Dragonite is, Greedent's actually tanking these Dragon Breaths reasonably well. Unlike Dragonite tanking these Body Slams, Dragonite left deep in the red. Cutlass Boy beautifully overfarms, fires off the Dragon Claw on the charge attack priority, securing the knockout, and we are spamming the switch. It's 2-shield Gengar versus the world. Back out comes Tapu Fini, and the opponent pivots into Giratina. Cutlass Boy full sends the Shadow Ball. Gengar gets in on the big boom action. Giratina, one of the thickest mon in the format, but gets one shot vanquished. Back to its Pokeball. Gengar able to fire off the Shadow Punch, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. However, I don't think we can win this battle. Cutlass Boy playing it out. Fairy double resist Dragon and single resist fighting. Cutlass Boy going for the single resisted superpower. Is superpower enough to knock out? Heartbreakingly, it is not, and we're going to take a loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see some Shadow on Shadow crime, the battle of the flying types. Gliscor, a firm favourite of mine in the Ultra League. I think this thing is very good. The opponent fires off the Night Slash. We withstand the damage, Cutlass Boy, then overfarms. Looks like he attempted to CMP the opponent, but they took the extra. Dragon Claw forces the protection. The opponent recognising they're going to be unable to wing attack farm down. Last second thrower charge with Night Slash, of course, from that range. Easily secures the knockout. We send out Ampharos. Ampharos looking for the resisted Volt Switch farm down. Cutlass Boy invests the Protect Shield on the Night Slash bait. The opponent fires off immediately, which means this can only be a Night Slash or Aerial Ace. I've seen a few people run Night Slash Aerial Ace. That certainly isn't the moveset. I think Aerial Ace is actually decent, but run it with Earthquake. Out comes Drapion. Drapion gets hit in the face with the Focus Blast, and we see the pivot into Gengar. The opponent sends out Poliwrath. The opponent with only one Protect Shield, 2 hard beyond. We full send the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball almost gets that one-hit KO. My God, does this team output some damage. Gengar able to absorb the Icy Wind. Back out comes Drapion, and Drapion is going to opt to throw a charge with Crunch. Secures the knockout. We can send that Ampharos, Volt Switch farm down, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we've got yet more Shadow and Shadow crime with the Shadow Dragonite mirror. Last time we saw Cutlass Boy farm up, look to make the catch, and it's deja vu. Cutlass Boy makes another Dragon Claw catch. The opponent this time not wanting to get farmed down, send out Poliwrath. Poliwrath, of course, not great into electric types, but Ampharos not tanking these counters particularly well. We full send the Focus Blast. The opponent invests that Protect Shield and leave with a lot of residual energy good to go. Neither our Pokemon particularly fancy tanking these charge moves. We send out Gengar, which is triple resisting the counters, as Ghost double resist fighting and Poison also resists. Cutlass Boy correctly shielded up the Skull. The opponent then fire off the ever annoying Icy Wind debuff. Cutlass Boy with no Protect Shield, 2 high behind, massively overfarmed before firing off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch, of course, from this range easily secures the knockout, and out comes Charizard. We might be debuffed, but they are not going to appreciate this Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball, come on, go unshielded. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, and we see the wham bam combo play, and that looks like a CMP sack swap. If it is, that is one of the hardest skills in the game. What a play from Cutlass Boy. Not only was we able to fire off our Dragon Claw, getting some valuable chip damage, but we depleted Charizard of its energy. We're able to send out Gengar, outpace to the Shadow Punch, Shadow Claw farm down, and that is a very, very good win. Well played, Cutlass Boy. In the next battle, we see the Battle of the Dragons. Dragonite farms up, goes straight for the Dragon Claw, which I imagine the opponent shields. They can actually one shield. Dragon Breath farm all the way down, but they're going to be left very deep in the red. We send out Ampharos. Does the opponent have a nuke move? Cutlass Boy no shield. The opponent fires off the Thunder Punch. Not sure on that play, trainer. If the opponent fired off the Thunder Punch, I'm assuming they had Draco. They had one opportunity to throw it and they went for a bait. I have no words. Some people are just horny for these bait moves. They send out Trevenant. Trevenant shields up the first Brutal Swing. Ampharos fires off Brutal Swing. Number 2, leaving Trevenant into the red. We send out Gengar. Gengar's answered by Cobalion. The opponent doesn't even build up to the Stone Edge. They fire off the triple resisted Sacred Sword. They realise they're a potato and they concede the match. These battles are around 2500 elo. I think the opponent's poor plays was probably under the basis that Shadow Pokemon shield everything. However, if you remember the Shadow Hub Discord, you'll know we do not shield baits in this household. In the next battle, we see Dragonite into Ampharos. Cutlass Boy shields up the Thunder Punch, returns fire with the Dragon Claw, and then looks to make the Thunder Punch catch onto his own Ampharos. Cutlass Boy, who's actually an admin on the Shadow Hub Discord, has clearly been to school and learnt to count, as he is making catches left, right and centre. If you're looking to improve your gameplay, our Discord is linked down below. Come check it out and come join the madhouse. Our Ampharos save switch is answered by Giratina. A lot of people ask, can you run the regular variant of some of the Pokemon I showcase? I think Ampharos, if you're going to run it in Ultra League, needs to be Shadow, and this is a prime example of why. Shadow Ampharos can two-shot Giratina with Brutal Swings, whereas the regular cannot. As Cutlass Boy is running the Shadow variant of Ampharos, we're able to force Giratina to burn the final Protect Shield. We send out Dragonite, absorb the energy. We then pivot into Gengar, looking for the farm down, which we're unable to get before they reach the departing Dragon Claw. The opponent actually able to make 2. Gengar not going to appreciate this damage. Dragon Claw leaves us so deep in the red. Out comes Poliwrath, the opponent offering very little fast move pressure. They pivot back out, looking to make the catch. Cutlass Boy sees it coming in, fires off the Shadow Punch, securing the knockout. We've got the Shadow Ball banked. Have we put it into Shadow Ball range? No, we haven't. We send out Dragonite. Dragonite able to reach the Dragon Claw on the CMP type. I cannot believe we won that game. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see a very fun, spicy pick from the opponent. Surfetched, an absolute glass cannon with a monstrous attack stat, which you're about to see here, as this Night Slash is something Dragonite will not appreciate. Night Slash gets us below half health. The opponent then send out Cresselia. Looks like we're going for some chip and dip action, firing off the Dragon Claw. And it's now time for Gengar to come in and start feasting. I believe that's only 7 Psycho Cuts, although it was quite hard to see if they got 1 or 2 on our Dragonite before we pivoted. We unfortunately do shield up the Moonblast bait, but Cutlass Boy farms up to the double Shadow Punch. If the opponent shields the first, the second, we'll be removing them from the field of play. The opponent just let it go and then send out the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death. We full send the Shadow Ball. The opponent fucks about. They find out. They actually think, what the hell was that damage? I wasn't ready, and they're just going to concede the match with Gengar popping off. In the next battle, we see Poliwrath in the lead. The opponent save switches into Drapion. So if I had to guess at what's in the back, it's going to be another Dark Poison type. I wonder where they got that team idea from. Cutlass Boy stays in, tanks the crunch, returns fire with the Dragon Claw, forcing us early shield advantage. We're actually able to reach the second Dragon Claw. I don't know why Drapion didn't throw, as they only take 5 Poison Stings to each. The opponent ends up playing to the CMP side. They do not win, which is heartbreaking for them and very nice for us. We send out Ampharos. Ampharos able to get the Volt Switch farm down. And just like magic, there's Dark Poison number 2 in the form of a Alolan Mark. Fighter Double Dark Poison, of course, is my signature Ultra League team. There is plenty of footage on it on the channel. Feel free to go check it out. However, I personally think Skuntank is the best Dark Poison closer. If you're going to run Mach because you don't have access to Skuntank, which I can understand, especially the non-Shadow variant, I'd highly recommend running Sludge Wave, as Acid Spray, Poison Jab combination just doesn't get the job done in the bulky league, especially when you're not getting that Shadow bonus. We land yet another Focus Blast Boom. The opponent fires off the Icy Wind bait, but no bait will be saving this opponent's fate, which they recognise as they force close the app. Cutlass Boy goes for that bad manners. Shadow Ball, BM when they're around 1 HP. When we finally stop unlagging, we're going to take that game. In the next battle, we see Dragonite into Empoleon. These two normally partners in crime. Interestingly enough, this opponent is on Waterfall. They save switch into Cresselia once again. We're looking for some chip and dip action, going for the Dragon Claw before sending out Gengar. This opponent definitely is not at a future sight. Cutlass Boy says, enjoy yourself, trainer. Grass knot. Not the way to go, buddy. So I'm just going to quickly slow this down and talk about a better play the opponent should have done. Future Sight takes 8 Psycho Cuts. They got a 2 Psycho Cut running starts. They could have outpaced us, potentially baiting a Future Sight. Even if they've not got it, they should have at least baited it, as Gengar would have likely had to respect the damage. However, they didn't do that. Cutlass Boy able to massively overfarm, fire off the Shadow Punch, securing the knockout, and even nuke Stunfisk with the Shadow Ball, which is huge for us, as we haven't really got a great way of dealing with this bear trap. Cutlass Boy gonna shield up the incoming Rock Slide, then return fire with a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is resisted, but from this range, of course, it will knock out as Stunfisk is rapidly running out of HP. We're actually going to tank the next one. Can we survive a Rock Slide from this range? We cannot. However, we send back out Ampharos to the opponent, pivot back out into Empoleon. Cutlass Boy going to be looking for the 1 shield Volt Switch farm all the way down. Can we get it? Oof, no we can't. I don't know why the opponent threw the Drill Peck the first time. A bit of bad manners from the opponent, then fire off the correct Hydro Cannon. But no BM will be saving this opponent. We're doubled up. The first Brutal Swing forces the opponent a final Protect Shield, and Cutlass Boy is going to emerge victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle. Cutlass Boy leads Dragonite into the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death, a very nice lead. The opponent say switches into Annihilate. I'm quite surprised to see us not instantly go into Gengar, knowing we do triple resist the counters. We fire off the Dragon Claw, forcing us early shield advantage. Cutlass Boy opting for the no shield. The opponent has Ice Punch. Oof. Double super effective, and of course it's going to one-shot. We now send out Gengar. Gengar going to be looking for the 1 shield Shadow Claw farm all the way down, which we're able to get. Back out comes Talonflame. Cutlass Boy fires off 2 Shadow Claws and the Shadow Ball for optimal fast move time, and the opponent tank the damage, then send out Guillotine. A Cutlass Boy makes the second Shadow Ball, which should be forcing the final shield or the knockout. Unfortunately, the final shield, but that's alright, as we've got Ampharos. The opponent has a lot of energy. Are we about to get Shadow Forced? Let's see. Nope, no we are not. The opponent fires off the Dragon Claw. Cutlass Boy hanging on to that final protection, which he invests here. The opponent fires off the Ancient Power, fishing for that boost, but the RNG gods are like, nah buddy, if you're going to run Giratina, we do not support you. Brutal Swing leaves the opponent deep into the red. Ampharos is still outside of Dragon Claw range. The opponent fires off the Dragon Claw, send out Talonflame. Yeah, Volt Switch is going to register before the Incinerate Trainer. They recognise that isn't the way to go, and they are going to concede the match. And unfortunately, that is going to draw to a close today's showcase. Huge shout out to my good friend Cutlass Boy for some phenomenally fun battles, showcasing the ruthless power of Shadow Pokemon in the Open Ultra League. As I said in the intro, the Team Rocket Takeover is live, so if you want to start using them Shadows, get frustration removed by using a Charge TM. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel, like Cutlass Boy did. My battle submission form is linked down below, and as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.